NATO'nun genişleme süreciyle ilgili gelişmeleri yakından izliyoruz. İsveç, boşuna uğraşma.
We are closely following the process of NATO's enlargement. Sweden don't even bother. As long as you allow my holy book, the Quran, to be burned and torn, and you do so together with your security forces, we will not say yes to your entry into NATO.
Müsaade ettiğin sürece biz sizin NATO'ya girmenize evet demeyiz. Ve Finlandiya konusunda
Our view of Finland is positive, but it is not positive about Sweden. That should be known.
olumlu değildir, bunu da böyle bilin.
Now it is a vast security deficit. All the European security architecture is now in ruins because there is a war in Europe. And there is a security deficit, and now Sweden and Finland are in a way like a grey zone. And in the interest of European security, in the interest of NATO, is making a clear cut of ending this grey zone.
Statements. I'll give word to Foreign Minister of Estonia.
At this moment, it is not it's not up to Turkey to separate this. It's up to these two countries, but mainly NATO. If NATO and two countries decide to separate the membership processes of Finland and Sweden, and Turkey will, of course, reconsider of Finland's membership separately.
Under what circumstances it will be separated? Will your country accept, already decided to accept Finland?
There is a new government in Sweden, and we see stronger political will there. Relatively, we have less problem with Finland's membership. This is also what we discussed today with Urmas. But despite this political will that they have been expressing during our meetings, when they make a statement, but we haven't seen any concrete step, convincing concrete step from Sweden particularly, to honor their commitments.
Thank you, ministers. Now we are ready to take questions.
Even on these provocations, I mean, one radical person burned our holy book, Quran, and Sweden actually not only gave the permission, necessary permission, also provided security. Of course, it is any country's obligation to protect even those kind of during this kind of event to prevent any other issue. But what I am trying to say that meanwhile Finland actually made a very clear statement that they will not allow such provocations. So it needs a political will.
Så där. Mikael Tovesson och jag. Mikael är alltså chef för operativa avdelningen.
The events of the last few weeks in Stockholm have made it clear how complex the protection of our security is and how closely connected individual national events are with larger international events around the world.
Nationella händelser är med större internationella skeenden runt om i världen. Vi såg det här även i våras med de koranbränningar som ägde rum.
The groups and the individuals who carried out these kinds of actions in this security situation, they become useful idiots for forces that mean Sweden ill.
Sverige illa. Vi såg det här även i våras med de koranbränningar som ägde rum. Vi har sett hur enstaka...
We have seen how individual Swedish demonstrations, completely legal in themselves, carried out by a small group or even by individuals, can have a major consequence for the image of Sweden in the outside world, for the safety of our Swedish citizen abroad, for the interests of Swedish companies, and for the very central issue of Swedish national security and the Swedish and Finnish NATO accession process. We have seen how foreign actors, even state actors, have used these demonstrations to inflame moods in a way that is directly harmful to Swedish security, and we are, as we usually say, in the most serious security policy situation since the Second World War.
För svensk säkerhet. Och vi befinner oss, som man brukar säga, i det allvarligaste säkerhetspolitiska läget sedan andra världskriget. Vi såg det här även i våras med de koranbränningar som ägde rum. Jag tänkte också säga några korta ord om de åtgärder som hittills...
I also wanted to say a few brief words about the steps taken so far by the government to discuss with partners and to cool down the situation and what we plan to do going forward. First, I am coming directly from a telephone meeting with the UN Secretary General where I've just informed him about the situation in Sweden right now and emphasized that all people who speak to leaders around the world and who carry respect in those conversations can help us to explain that Sweden is not seeking conflict with the rest of the world.
Att Sverige inte söker strid med omvärlden.
Då tar vi och rundar av för ikväll.
Tack så
för att
mycket.
ni kom.
Tack Mikael.